Their abundant artist. It's Jennifer Joy. Having a hard time talking. Hello, abundant artists. It's Jennifer Joy. I'm the abundant artist mentor who helps you get out of your own way, master your creative fears, and make more money. And I'm just wondering, this is seems to be a common thing for creatives. Have you ever had someone tell you that you should get a real job or keep your real job when you talk about your creative work? Or maybe you've even been the one telling yourself that I need to get a real job. I need to keep this job even though I hate it, right? Now, I'm not telling you to quit your jobs right now. Yet, we want to help you move toward making creativity the focus of your world and making you more money. So, one of the ways we need to do this is to identify those sneaky saboteurs in your life who are sucking you dry. And there are actually 5 categories. And I want to give you also the strategies to break free from their grasp because these saboteurs really do prey on the creative fears that are already in your head, even if they are well meaning friends and family. And we are going to talk about that today because sometimes, if it's your friends or your family, you want to maintain that relationship with them. You love them. And yet, they're feeding your fear. They're sucking you dry. They're making you doubt yourself. They're eroding your confidence. And we want to make sure that you can get beyond that. So today we're going to give you those strategies. I have just a few notes. One thing I want to share with you is these 5 sneaky saboteurs come from these categories, these types, come from the book Fearless Living by Rhonda Britton. So I'm going to be talking about them today. For those of you who don't know, I am a fearless living master coach and mentor, which is why I'm the one to help you with all these creative fears. And these are, Rhonda calls them fear junkies. So we are going to talk about the 5 categories of saboteurs or fear junkies. And not only do I want you to be looking at your external life, who in your life is being a fear junkie, but also where are you being the fear junkie to yourself? Where are you being the fear junkie to yourself? And this topic actually came up in I'm just checking my comments. This topic actually came up in my mastermind group. I work with a group of 9 creatives right now. We go deep, we go far, digging into those fears and helping them with their life purpose and their marketing message. So this came up with one of my members in that group. And what I want to tell you is out of these 5 types of saboteurs, there is really one that is really, really out to get you. So we're going to start there. We're going to start with the one fear junkie that is seriously out to get you. And this type of saboteur or fear junkie is called a rival in disguise. A rival in disguise. Now, there can be actual rivals, like the people who are out to get you, but these are rivals in disguise because they are really wanting to sabotage you, but they come off as kind of nice. They might be the ones who give you those backhanded compliments or have those subtle put downs. They're the frenemies. That's another word, frenemies, right? So they're intentionally out to sabotage you. And here's why. Here's why. Let me give you their agenda. Their agenda is to come out on top. They believe in lack and limitation. They believe there's only one winner, and they want to be that winner. They want to be that winner. So this could be another creative in your field who's a rival in disguise or a frenemy. It could be someone who wants to be on top in your field of work. Or here's the tricky part, it might also be a sibling. It could also be a sibling who wants to, in your family, be the winner of the family. So that's where it gets really sneaky. Now, your strategy for these types of fear junkies, these rivals in disguise, is really to kind of stay away from them as much as possible. I know it seems like a simple, oh, that's the strategy. Yet they are intentionally out to sabotage you. So you need to recognize that and do what you can to maintain that distance from them. And if they are in your family, I do understand that is more of a challenge. So you need to realize that they're always looking for that way to subtly sabotage you, even if they're in your family. All right. Now, I do want to say, especially if it's your sibling, especially if it's a sibling, to try to have compassion for that sibling, especially if they're in your field, just stay away. If it's your sibling, understand that they are really operating out of their own fear and that lack mentality. So try to have some compassion for them. They're not evil people. They just are a little misguided. They're a little misguided. And so keep them at an arm's length and yet have that compassion for them. Let me just check my comments again. All right. Hello, everyone who's joined me live. We are jumping to our second type of fear junkie. Now, there are four more categories we are going to go through. And if you've just joined, again, this is from the Fearless Living book. I'm a master fearless living coach, so I know these categories inside and out and can help you identify them and come up with strategies around them. So the next four types of fear junkies are actually the well-meaning friends and family. And that's why the strategies here are so very important. So very important. So let's first talk about the dream drainer. The dream drainer. So we talked about rivals in disguise. Now we're going into the dream drainer. And basically, the dream drainer, again, it's about having the compassion for the person as well, especially if they're well meaning. The dream drainer does not believe that your dreams are possible. They don't, they think probably that almost all dreams are unattainable or impossible. And they probably have dreams of their own that they never met. They never went for them and they never met. So they really want what's best for you. They want what's best for you. So their agenda is to make sure that you don't get disappointed like they were disappointed, that you don't follow your dream and find disappointment. So that's what they are there for. They're trying to be well-meaning, trying to keep you safe from disappointment. So your strategy for the dream drainer is really to try not to share your dreams with them. Try to find a separate support system, someone who can help you. So, if it's a mom or a dad or a sibling who's a dream drainer, don't get into your dreams about them. And here's a big thing with these four remaining categories especially. Don't try to convince them you're right. They aren't going to believe you. Trying to convince them, they are only going to dig into deeper, wanting to protect you from that disappointment. So there's no convincing here. There's no convincing. So you're going to keep your dreams somewhat to yourself. If they ask you, how are things going with that? Oh, pretty good. I'm really enjoying myself. And how's the weather by you? So shift to the topic, stay out of the dreams and find a support system. Maybe it's a mentor or a mastermind group like mine, or a mentor or other friends and family who can support you with your dreams. Number three, another well-meaning category is the puppeteer, the puppeteer. And just like it sounds, they're the puppet master. They're the puppet master. So this type of fear junkie or saboteur is usually someone that you have a long-term relationship with. It's often a person who is in a place of authority, often parents, but it can be teachers, mentors, etc. And they want to control and manipulate your life because it's either two things. I think it's either two things. It can be sort of like the dream drainer where they want to protect you from getting from well, I'll tell you in a moment. They want to protect you, or it might be that they're kind of that stage mom puppeteer, right? So they want you to live that life that they've missed, right? They never were the dancer, so you're going to be the dancer, right? They're the puppeteer. And I have to tell you, this can be really subtle. I think when we think of the stage moms, or dance moms, or however you wanted to phrase it, those are like smack you in the face puppeteers. Yet, when I was training to be a life coach back in 2007, when I was doing my first training for certifications, I've actually worked with creatives, mentoring them for more than 20 years. Yet, when I went back to get certified in 2007 and was working with my mentor, my coaching mentor, she just posed the question, gee, is your mom fall into this group? And I was floored because I didn't realize that all my life she'd been a subtle puppeteer. Again, she had unfulfilled dreams of her own creativity. Every time she moved into a creative work, she backed down because she didn't want to fail. And that really is the agenda of a dream drainer, or excuse me, a puppeteer. It's really the agenda is they want to spare you from making mistakes or failing. So they think they know best. And like I said, they want to help you avoid the mistakes that they've probably made in their life. So again, their agenda is to spare you from making mistakes or failing. So they're either going to divert you in a different direction or they're going to push you like the stage mom or the dance mom. And the strategy here, you're going to find some of these strategies sort of overlap, is to really avoid sharing too much with them. And again, don't try to convince them of anything. Don't try to convince them. What you want to do is really establish that you've got this. And again, not in a trying to convince way because you're not going to convince them, but you'll avoid sharing too much with them. Thank them for their concern and tell them you've got it handled. So don't convince, just, oh, I know you're really scared for me about this and you're trying to help me. Thank you so much for your concern, Mom. And I've got this one handled. I appreciate your comments and I'm going to take it from here. So it's really establishing, if they're in a place of authority, it's starting to establish the authority in your life. Again, not trying to convince them that your path is right, but trying to convince them that you've got it. You are the authority in your life. Very, very gently. Because again, they mean the best. They want the best for you. All right, down to the fourth. The fourth type of fear junkie is, I'm just making sure I've got my notes here. The fourth type is the rear view mirror, the rear view mirror. So this type of fear junkie kind of lives in the past and they want to remind you of your old patterns and past failures. They will want to remind you of that time you got drunk together. They want to remind you. And I actually had someone in my life who was this way in my family, not about my creativity or my job, but in the family. She would always remind me, and she's not in the family anymore. She was an in-law and she's now an outlaw. No, she's not in the family anymore. There was a divorce. Um, but she would tell me every time we talked just about my husband and his ex-girlfriend and how she was trying to be the savior for him and get him away from the ex-girlfriend and all this over and over. She would always tell me stories of the past about my husband. And so really she was dragging in this ancient history that had nothing to do with the current situation. She told me it a million times before. And the thing is, again, they're well meaning. And what they're trying to do is stay connected to you. So, this former sister in law of mine was trying to connect with me. She was trying to say, I'm for your relationship and I wasn't for that old one. And she was trying to stay connected to my husband too. I helped him with that. So they're trying to stay connected and they really worry about you moving away from them. If you follow your dream, you're going to get too far from that drunk incident that you had in college or whatever it might be that they're bringing up from the past. You're going to leave them behind. You're going to leave them behind. So their agenda is around getting their own need for intimacy and connection at the expense of yours, right? They aren't really thinking about you. They're thinking about their need to connect to you and aren't thinking about the consequences of them. And I want to bring this up. I brought up sort of a family matter, yet this could be in your business as well. It could be that person who always remembers, well, yeah, remember the last time you did a fair and you stood out in 90-degree weather for 4 days and you sold one piece of art? It's that person. It's that person. And what they're really trying to remind you is of the time you told them that and you connected, or the time they stood out there with you. So it can also be around your work too, reminding you of those past failures. And again, their agenda is that connection to you, getting that need met for a connection. Your strategy in this situation, your strategy is to first understand that that's what they want, is that connection. And it's about redirecting them. So it's yes, yes, I do remember that art fair. And that was 5 years ago. So today is a new day and I am reassuring you that at the next art fair, I'm going to let you know all about it. You might not want to invite them to the fair with you, but I'm assure them of your future relationship if you want to have a future relationship with them. I can't wait to tell you about that. So Connect to the past, bring them to the present. Now is now, that was the past. Now is now, and in the future, I can't wait to tell you about my new art shows where I'm hoping to really have a lot of success. Rear view mirror. The fifth type, the fifth and final type of saboteur or fear junkie. This is the person, this is probably the most common. And this is probably the one when I work with clients, they're like, uh-oh, yeah, I've done this a lot to other people. I've done it to myself. Oh my gosh. And this is the complaining buddy. The complaining buddy. So before we get into the major details and what to do, just think about it for a moment. Think about weather. Think about weather. How many times do you go to the store or coffee shop or wherever when you're not in lockdown and you complain about the weather with someone? They say, oh, this heat, this humidity, the snow, the rain, right? People connect with complaining. It's easy to take that common experience and connect with it. So this is the most common and pervasive. Now, how does it make you feel, right? It's okay to connect. It's like okay to connect with that and say, oh my gosh, yeah, it's so hot. But if you have a 5-minute conversation with a complaining buddy about the weather, much less your creative work or the creative landscape or the fact that you're not getting sales or the fact that social media is crazy or the cost of a website is this, if you stay in that complaining energy, it drains you. It makes those, again, those fears of doubt come up like you're never going to make it. So again, connection is okay. You want to avoid it where possible, but connection's okay in complaining because that's how people often connect. And you want to redirect the conversation. And it's up to you because now you know this information. So these complaining buddies, I sort of said it, they like totally verbally confirm your fears that you'll never make it, that the landscape isn't right for your work, that no one will buy it, that you're not good enough. Totally confirm your fears verbally. And here's the thing about complaining is it's the focus on the problem rather than the solution. So I'm going to use the really easy weather thing. It's really humid and hot this week here in southeastern Wisconsin. And so I could sit and complain for 5 minutes about, oh my God, it's going to go on forever all week and the holidays ruined and my daughter's going to have this thing. Or I can focus on the solution. Wow, it's a great day, a great week to maybe go swimming, right? Pull out the hose. It's a great week to stay indoors. Maybe we'll spend the holidays, we'll go outside and do our firecrackers, and then we're going to come in and watch Hamilton, right? So, focusing on the solutions is really about it. So, it's super common. The agenda, the agenda for a complaining buddy is to stay in that helpless victim mode. They don't want to take responsibility. They don't want to move beyond victim mode. And again, they don't know this. They don't know this. So it's about having compassion for them. They don't know that they're staying in victim mode. They don't realize that they're avoiding responsibility, right? If the landscape, if I can never sell my abstract art, nobody wants it in this type of modern design element and it just won't fit, then you can just wipe your hands of it and say, oh well, can't do it, right? Rather than going in there and finding a way, finding a solution to how to put your art into these modern homes, right? So that's the agenda, stay in victim mode. The strategy is to interrupt the complaints, right? You might connect. Oh my gosh, did you see did you see that article about this? Oh my gosh, yes, I did. I couldn't believe it. Then you redirect, you interrupt. And oh my gosh, what do you think we should do about that? Not what should they do, like the leaders that be or the powers that be. What can we do about that? Yeah, I know modern it's really challenging to come up with a solution for this, how to get my abstract work in a modern household. Can we can we talk about that? Do you have any ideas how we can make this work? So, interrupt and redirect. Interrupt and redirect. And it's okay if you agree, yeah, that's really rough. Yeah, the weather's really bad this week. And I was thinking of going to the beach. What are you going to do to beat the heat? Right? So that's the strategy. So I hope this has been useful. I haven't been checking comments. Oh, no comments so far, at least on my screen. Those are the 5 types of saboteurs, sneaky saboteurs. The rivals in disguise right? Those are the ones who really sort of want to come out on top and put you down, and they're going to try to be your friends. They're the frenemies. There is the dream drainer, trying to drain your dreams, right? Again, wanting the best for you, but trying to drain your dreams. The puppeteer, who's trying to manipulate so that you don't make mistakes, so that you can live the life they've missed. The rear view mirror, who's trying to really connect you with you from your past failures, right? And again, it's sort of the complaining buddy, right? They connect with the negative. They connect on a negative thing. And then the complaining buddies, who are just want to sit it around and just talk about how bad things are, right? For a long extended period of time. So let me say about complaining too, you want to limit it. Sometimes you need to vent, keep it to 5 minutes. We're going to complain for 5 minutes and then we're going to move on to a different topic. That's another strategy. So those are the 5 types. I hope this has been of service to you. I hope you've learned how you might have fear junkies or saboteurs in your life, how maybe you've even been that in other people's lives or been that way to yourself. And what I'd love to hear from you in the comments today, as always, a like is the best compliment I can ever get, right? If you're watching, hit the like button. If you're watching the replay, hashtag replay is awesome. And what I'd love to hear in the comments is, what type of saboteur or fear junkie have you have you noticed the most in your life? What have you noticed the most? Has it been the complaining buddy? Has it been the rear view mirror? Has it been the puppeteer? Has it been the dream drainer? Has it been the rival of disguise? Let me know. Let me know in the comments what has affected your life. I'd love to hear from you. Until next week, get out there as much as you can. Continue to express yourself and share your spark. Bye bye, everyone.